So I know it's been a while. It's been about 4 weeks since I've got on here and made a video. And y'all, make no mistake about it, just because I get on YouTube and I have on a big smile and a wallet full of money, that everything in my life is peaches and cream. Like, no, I'm going through this ascension too, from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And these past 4 weeks that I've been absent, I have been forced to face some parts of my shadow, or parts of myself that, or yeah, parts of myself, parts of my shadow, it's all the same thing, parts of myself that have been holding me back. And I want to say, and this is, I am calling all empaths, healers, psychics, those spiritually gifted, witches, all of you beautiful star seeds, I'm calling you now to this video so we can discuss when to stop giving to somebody. When do you, what, and as a good person, when you can feel what somebody's going through, you're not, if you don't have control over that, you're not going to know when to stop giving to somebody. You're not going to be able to distinguish between, is this person really using me, or are we actually building something together? And this is 4 weeks that I didn't get any content posted. I've been building a website has been moving ever so slowly, and it's just like, I sat down and I'm realizing I'm not where I want to be at. This is not, I mean, I'm comfortable where I'm at, but as far as in the long scheme of things, in the long run, I'm not moving fast enough. I'm not scaling the way I need to be scaling. And so I had to look around myself, I had to look at the people who I'm surrounding myself with, and then I kind of realized it, like, and there were so many red flags that I had written off, and you can't write off those red flags. If there's one thing that 2020 has taught me, is you cannot let those red flags go. I can go back, everybody who has been cut off the beginning of this year, I can go back through my notebook and find the entry of when I seen a red, when I saw, excuse my country behind, when I saw a red flag and I ignored it and I wrote it down in my notebook. Like, okay, I'm gonna just take note of this. I'm not gonna cut them off, but I'm gonna take note of this. And by the end of the year, they were gone. So don't ignore those red flags when you have those about people. But basically what happened was, I'm not going to get too deep into it, even though this video might be long because I have been gone for a while. But I had this girl move in with me. I met her over the summer, and when I met her, what happened was, I live in an apartment, and I'm on the second floor, and there's two windows in my room that are facing, there's other apartments, and then there's like a road. And so she was in the road and she was with her boyfriend, and I'm just somebody who looks out the window. So I'm just looking. I was like, I've never seen these people before. And she had beautiful natural hair, like it was so big and so curly. And so I see her and I'm like, oh, she's so cute and whatever. And so then I see her boyfriend toss a drink on her. And I'm like, oh. And so I'm thinking in the next 3 seconds, I'm going to see them fight. Like, I'm going to see her fist connect with his face. And that just didn't happen. Like, as I'm waiting for this to happen, like, my heart's already beating. Like, I'm already upset because I don't like seeing stuff like that. So that didn't happen. She just kind of looked defeated and she just kind of like followed behind him. So I ran downstairs and I'm like, hey, I just saw what happened. You need to come in here. So she comes in there and we talk, and the way she made it seem, she's like, yeah, I'm ready to get my life together. And she tells me this whole sad story and this and that, and I'm ready to leave and I'm ready to do better and all this. And so I'm like, okay, yes, I'm gonna help you do better, because at that point in my life I was doing okay, just like I was fine. I mean, I had a job, I was living here. So, but anyway, and then me and my ex-boyfriend at the time, the day I met her, it was that night we were supposed to be leaving to go to North Carolina so we could fly out of Charlotte, and we were going to take a little vacation. So yeah, so I left her in my house, and I didn't really think too much of it because these apartments come furnished. So, and I had just moved in like 2 months before, so I didn't really have much in here that she could steal. But I did have $2 on my altar. So when I came back to my house that weekend, because we only left for the weekend, and we went to Orlando, and I only left for the weekend, so I came back, $2 was gone, and my bed wasn't made up. And just me being me, I kind of wrote it off like, okay, well, maybe everybody's parents didn't teach them. When somebody allows you in their house, especially if I allowed you in my house and I left, it's no way I should have came back and my bed been unmade. Like no, the bed was made when you got in, and this isn't your bed. I mean, I don't even know. Anyway, that's besides the point. That was a red flag for me, and I ignored it. I was just kind of like, okay, well, she had told me her story, so maybe she just doesn't know any better. And have y'all seen that post on Facebook that's like, I don't care how sad their story is, don't let nobody move in your house? Yeah, that's what I was going through. But this was over the summer. This is the backstory. I'm going to move you forward to what happened the next time. So, New Year's Eve, she came to my house, and she, anyway, it was, now that I mentioned, there's another friend who needs to be included in this story, but I don't even want to get on all these people who done been in my life and done been ripped out. But we're just going to stick to the main person. So she came over. She ended up leaving before like New Year's Eve because she wanted to go smoke a black and mild. And of course, the black and mild, the boyfriend lived, this is an apartment complex. So like if I'm on this side facing the street, his apartment is behind mine, but like down, it's 4 doors on each side. So his apartment is behind mine, down some doors. So of course, before New Year's Eve even comes in, I'm thinking I'm spending New Year's Eve with 2 of my besties, my homegirls. So she leaves because she wants to go smoke a black and mild. Red flag. Okay, but proud of myself because after that night, I did tell her, I'm like, I'm trying to protect my peace going into the new year. Like I really want to be a new person, and if somebody's disturbing that, I don't want them around me. And so I did block her off everything. We hadn't had any contact, and I thought it was over with, And then so one day she knocked on my door, and I didn't know it was her because, like I said, I'm on the 2nd floor. So I heard somebody knock on the door. I look out the window and I see her hair, and something in me was just like, "Girl, go ahead and answer the door." I shouldn't have answered the door. I should not have answered that door. If I could go back to the day when I saw her hair, when I looked down the window and I saw her, I would have went back in my bed so quietly and so peacefully. So she comes downstairs. So I come downstairs, I open the door, and I'm just kind of looking at her like, "Hey." And so she tells me that her boyfriend has he never stopped hitting her. And I forgot to add, but after she stole that $2 off my altar, to me, yeah, it's just $2. But I guess my ancestors did not take it that way, because a week later he had put her in the hospital. Lip was all busted up. Like, it looked really bad. And she was such a pretty girl. She is such a pretty girl. Lip was busted up. But look, don't take nobody money off no altar. Nobody should have to tell you that. You don't take no money off an altar. But anyway, she was downstairs. Apparently the boy had beat her up real bad, and it was really bad. So he picked. We all these apartments look alike, and they have stairs. So like when you come up the first few stairs, and then there's a turn, and you come up the next few stairs. So apparently he picked her up, or they were this is what she told me, they were in an argument, and when they get in an argument, she's trying to calm him down, like, "Babe, stop doing all this," which is something you should not do, especially if you're this size and your man's big. He was a plus size guy, all right? And so he takes her, and this is what she tells me. It tells me that he flipped her over like that and slammed her on the ground. So like they were on the stairs, but she fell on the first floor, like into the living room. So she had this huge bruise up her thigh. And I'm just like, because at this point it's just like, yeah, this is really sad, but I can't, like, because even when she first moved in the first time, it's like she would just keep going over there, and it was just going over there for stupid stuff. Like, we'll be over here chilling. She's like, "All right, I got to go back over there and get my toothbrush." Girl, it's 2 p.m. If you ain't brushed your teeth by now, then what? And so she would just keep going over there for stupid stuff. And this was before I cut her off the first time. This is all the red flags that I should have kept up with. So, where was I at in that story? She comes over with the big bruise. So I'm like, yeah, so what do you want to do about it? Because you can't, we were standing on the porch, and it was kind of cold. I had on a jacket. She didn't have on anything. And the empath in me was already dead for the situation. Like, I can't do anything for you. So we're just sitting on the porch, and I'm just looking at her cry, and I'm just like, so what do you want to do about it? Because at the end of the day, you can't stay here anymore. I let you in my house multiple times, and you've stolen from me. It disrespected the house. We run out the house at 4 o'clock in the morning to go back over there. It was a lot. I'm probably going to do another video with the story time on that. And so, ends up that day, we ended up calling the police on him. This was a whole ordeal. This wasn't just, no, they called the police and they took him out of here. I mean, like, no, I'm probably going to make another video about what actually happened with me and her. So, they take him to jail, and she moves back in the house. And the only reason why I let her move back in the house, because I was like, because my mom had been telling me, everybody else is like, no, she's not going to leave him, because my mom, she used to work with women like that. And she said in all those years that she was working with those women, none of them ever left their partner. So I'm like, all right, so she's never really going to leave him. That's kind of what I had chalked it up to when she came up. Anyway, I'm just like, okay, so I'm just going to go spend some time with her, let her vent, and she'll go back home. But no, we actually went through, got the man in jail. And so at this point, it's just kind of like, I didn't want her to have to, because it was really bad. Like, there was blood on the walls. The apartment was trashed, to say the least. I mean, the bed had like smoked black and miles in it. So like, it was not somewhere I was comfortable. Like, if I was a woman, it's not somewhere where comfortable I would be sleeping. So I didn't feel comfortable her sleeping in there. So again, I let her sleep at my house. I let her stay at my house because she didn't need to be over there even after she put her boyfriend in jail. Big mistake. So and I have moved in since the first time she moved in. I had another roommate move in. And this roommate here, she don't play. She don't play. No bullshit. Lexi is no bullshit. So Lexi did not like her in the house because she was coming in and she was disrespecting the house. Like when we come in, we're inside. And she doesn't have a key, so you can't be leaving our door. And if you have to have a key to lock the door, so she would be outside 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, either sitting on the porch smoking a black and mild, or just strolling through the neighborhood, just. And I know, repeating it now, she's kind of like, why did you have her in your house anyway? Because it wasn't clicking like that for me then. Like, I'm just thinking she's somebody sad and depressed. She just needs somebody. But I'm so glad that I have a roommate now who was in my ear like, girl, don't let none of that slide. Because it wasn't pleasant with her being in the house, to say the least. It wasn't, like I said, my mom always taught me, when you're in somebody's house, you always leave it better than what you found it, like. And she was leaving things worse. Like, we have a very me and my roommates, we all get along. We keep our stuff in closed corners. Everything is neat. She would have her socks strewn across the living room floor, shoes. Like, it was like as if she would just walk in the living room and just kick her shoes off. It was weird. And I in my head, I'm just keep trying to like, she keep trying to just like, she doesn't have a mom, so she doesn't know. But that doesn't have anything to do with, I took you in out of nowhere and I didn't even know you, and you're just kicking your shoes off in my house. So anyway, that came to a boil when she once again stole from me. So what happened was, I was working an overnight shift, and when I got home, before I went to my overnight shift, I had a pack of cigars. And y'all know what I was about to do with them cigars. And so to keep them fresh, because I'm bougie like that, I put them in the refrigerator. And she watched me put them in the refrigerator. So I get off work next day, 6 o'clock. It was almost 7 o'clock because I had to stay extra hours. So I was even more ready to get to those cigars that were in the refrigerator. So I came home, took my clothes off like I normally do. I was about to get in the shower, about to get my cigar, and take me a shower, and go to sleep. So I open up the door. I opened up the refrigerator door, and the cigars were gone. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I had like a whole like pause when I closed the door and I reopened it. I was like, because I just know she did not. So I opened up the refrigerator door again, and I'm sitting there, and I done took all my clothes off. All I had on was my robe. I didn't have on nothing but my robe. And so I'm sitting there looking at the refrigerator like, have you seen my cigar? And look, it wasn't just a pack of 2, it was a pack of 3. There was 3 of them, and they were not opened. There was 3 cigars in there. And she, look. So I was like, do you know what happened to my cigars? Like, in the back of my mind, I already know she had smoked them. I already know that. So she was like, yeah, I had smoked them. And then so like, I guess I gave her a look of love, a death look or something. I looked at her and she's like, oh no, it's okay. I got the money for it. But at that point, it's not even about the money. Like, I'm butt naked in my kitchen waiting to get my cigar so I can go take a shower. What do you mean? I have $2 in my own wallet. I don't need your $2. What are you doing? So anyway, got dressed. We went to the store to get me some more cigars. She comes out with the wrong pack of cigars. I mean, it was just really just ultimate disrespect. And so I texted my roommate and I told her what happened, because I felt like my roommate should know, like, this girl, she's still stealing. So if she's stealing from me, then she's gonna steal from you. So I let my roommate know that. She cracked down on that. And so me and my roommate, her and my roommate, we came to an agreement that she could stay until the 31st of January. Yeah, because February doesn't have 31 days. So she could stay till the 31st of January. Bottom line, she ended up, and it was 2 weeks from the day that we talked to her. So bottom line is, she ended up ruining that, because she didn't steal anything else, but my roommate would come home, her shoes would still be in the middle of the floor, just would have and she had all her stuff in a storage bin. And I mean, wouldn't move the storage bin out the middle of the floor. It was really tough. It was really tough to watch and just know, like, it's not, I can't do it. It was tough for me to watch and just be like, I can't do anything for you, because this is just you as a person. This is just you as a person. Regardless of everything that you've went through, if you can find somebody who can be this nice to you and this open to you, and it's still not clicked to you, that maybe you've been given something that you can, you've been given some extra, you've been given another chance, and for you to still just throw it away like that, it was kind of hard to just like watch that. Oh, there goes my roommate right now, speaking of her. But anyway, so my roommate, I was telling my roommate, I was really upset about it. She was like, Lonnie, don't let that girl manipulate you. And so we had another sit down, and she ended up having to go. So that was the first part of that, and that's already 15 minutes. Hold on, wait, let me close my door because I don't want to hear my roommate coming upstairs. All right, I'm back. So, this second scenario that I want to get into, it wasn't as big and as blown up as the first one was, but still I realized, like, I took a step back and realized I'm not scaling the way I want to be. So there's got to be people who I'm spending my time with who aren't really doing, I'm not getting as much as I'm giving. So this is this guy who I've been talking to. We've known each other for a year. And I mean, this really started off so beautifully. Like, he always, but it always does. You always think they're different than the last ones or whatever. And he might be different, but that doesn't mean he's right. But basically, his situation is he's being so heavily affected by his external circumstances and, like, the people who he lives with. His whole living situation has been turned upside down. And me just being this person who I am, like being a healer and stuff, I know that if you want to change what you see on the outside, it's going to start on the inside. So when you wake up and your first thought is to be mad at the people who you live with because they're arguing like they have been every day for the past week, and you wake up again and now you're mad again, you're just going to keep waking up mad because they're still arguing, it doesn't make sense. And he's a type of person, he gets upset when I say that. Just he feels like I'm always trying to tell him what he's doing wrong. And it's like, no, I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing wrong, but I'm telling you what you could do to make this situation better for yourself. And so that's just been a lot of me. Like, I had to step back and realize, like, I really do care about this guy because we really did start. It was the beginning of something beautiful until, like, his whole family situation just screwed him up. But, all right, I had to go grab a charger. But yeah, his whole family situation, the situation that he's living in with these two people who are in a relationship and they're not happy in the relationship and they're arguing, is really rubbing off on him. And he's waking up every day and you're upset. You're waking up, you're throwing yourself in a negative vibration. Everything is already off for you. And you're not, I mean, you done lost your car. Your living situation's not where it needs to be. And you're waking up and you're just waking up pissed off. That's not doing anything to help you. And so me just thinking, like, at first I was writing it off as like, okay, yeah, he can be depressed and he can be mad about things, but then also when you're depressed, you have to give yourself a fighting chance. And if you're just waking up and finding things to be mad at the outside world, that's not gonna do anything for you, you know? Like, I don't believe that's gonna do anything for you. It's not gonna help you at all. If anything, it's gonna make your situation worse. And so I had to step back and I had to realize, like, as a woman who wants a man who's going to be a strong, divine, masculine man, I don't want somebody who's going to be getting mad at me trying to help them or being sensitive and saying, like, you know, like, you're trying to tell me what I'm doing wrong. What I'm trying to do is help you get out of this situation in the best way I know how. Because if I had $10,000, I could give it to you. And I could get you out of that situation if I wanted to, but that's not going to do anything for you. You need something on the inside that's going to help you realize that you don't deserve to be in this situation. That's going to light the fire under your behind, so you get up and you choose to do something about that. Like, I want to be able to affect people, and instead of them getting upset, I want to light a fire up under you. So I had to watch who I was hanging out with. I had to watch where my energy was going, and that's all this video is. It's just to remind you, who are you spending your time with? What are y'all doing? If you have something that you want to do, like if you want to open a store, if you want to start an online business or start a business at all in general, if you want $1 million and you have people in your life who you feel like you couldn't say that to because they would tell you it's not possible, or they you know what I mean? Like, if you have people in your life who are holding you back, if your vibes aren't matching with theirs, if you want to go places that they don't see themselves going, you have to be strong and say, like, okay, I've outgrown this person, because that's what life is all about. You're not supposed to know the same 10 people who you grow up with who lived around the corner, even if that's your grandma's house and she still live over there and you've known the people since you were 7. No, the beautiful thing about life is that you grow and you change. Life is changing all around you and you have to change with it if you let that change happen. Nothing's holding you back but you. And yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. But yeah, empaths, y'all watch where you're pouring yourself out, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Keep yourself first. Keep that self-love going. Make sure that you're straight, so you know when you have to cut people off. It shouldn't come to where you have to consistently ask yourself, like, where I was at, and I'm taking like 4 weeks wondering, like, am I doing the right thing by helping these people? No, I got to cut them off because I'm not making no content for my YouTube channel. So yeah, keep your head up, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.